Hello everyone, it is me, Game, Morality, and Movie Boy here. Today I'm actually going to do a video that is slightly different from my other videos. So far I have been doing some Christianity videos. So today I'm actually going to start with this one of the reasons why I created this second channel, which is morality, which is why I'm going back to a series I did review in my original channel. You know, Mega Man Gamer, that was me, I actually did a series called FreezeFlames22's Bowser's Koopalings, so I decided to revisit this series. And I'm starting all the way back to Season 1 and going through all 6 seasons again. And then at the end of Season 6, I'm going to do a full compressed list of every characters throughout all 6 seasons. And then eventually I'll do 2 separate videos on the most good characters in the series and the most evil of the series. But today I'm basically gonna do a morality video every couple maybe a couple days, couple weeks. It depends on if I'm busy or not. But today I'm gonna be doing FreezeFlames22's Bowser's Koopalings Season 1 characters ranked from most good to most evil. And I'm gonna go with the rules. We have 3 categories: the good, the neutral zone, and the bad to evil tier. And also, there I will be at the end of the video. I'll be handing out these sinner medals. You don't want these sinner medals because it represents your sin. It's based on the 7 deadly sins and an extra medal as well. And also, if you're the one more thing, if you're the most good or the most evil or the 2 other spots, you'll either get a most good medal or the most evil medal. And this, I would say, this is probably gonna be the shortest video because the seasons get more complex. But yeah, let's get started with the video. So starting with the good tier, and I'll pick for the most good character with the gold medal of most good is going to one of the Koopalings. You know him, you love him. It's Larry Koopa, the main character of the series. Well, you might be wondering why Larry's getting the gold medal. I can explain to you. Well, first off, he's the most innocent out of the Koopalings. He doesn't even swear in the entire season. Well, yes, he is a bit of a coward at times. He's still overall good, and he knew about how to overthrow Bowser Jr., which we're gonna get into much later in the last tier. You're gonna find him a lot at the bottom spot. But anyway, like I say, Larry's the most innocent. He is always apologetic. He even apologizes to Ludwig, even though Ludwig is just basically a jerk in the series. And also, he tried to stop Junior from, demonetizing him, and also got payback on Junior. Well, yes, he can be a little bit mean at times by saying, like, jerkhole, but, I mean, it's kind of nice. I mean, it's kind of, justified because the other Koopalings are not as nice as Larry. So yeah, Larry's the most good, so we're gonna give him the gold medal of good in this season. Earning the silver medal of good is another Koopaling. It's going to be the sister, the only female of Bowser's kids. It's Wendy Koopa with the silver medal of good. Well, yes, Wendy is a bit more not as nice as Larry. I would say Wendy is still a really good sister to Larry. She offers great advice to him whenever he's feeling down. She also helps him not get framed when Kamek frames Larry for the beer accident in the pilot episode. And yeah, well, yeah, she is a little bit sarcastic at times, and is also on her phone a lot. She still is a good sister. I mean, she helps Larry get out of situations that she and her brothers are in, and is kind of a protector of Larry in a certain way. And also, Roy definitely deserves getting a beating from Wendy after they got when Wendy got swapped into Morton's body, where Roy was put into her body in the 7th episode. So, and we're gonna get to Roy much later. Wendy's the only reason we can't give her the gold the gold medal of good is mostly because she does act a little sarcastic at times. But I think second place is a good spot for her. Earning the bronze medal of good by basically almost default is Morton Koopa. Morton Koopa may be a little bit of a bully as he does beat up Larry in the first episode, but he's quickly forgiven. But the thing is, we can't give him the top 2 spot, is that he is really gluttonous. He always talks about food. He's always snacking on stuff. Well, yes, he does get he almost got the film of Kamek trying to steal the Beals in the pilot episode. But yeah, and at least he does stand up to Bowser Jr. in Into Bowser Jr., the third episode. And and again, he's very nice. I mean, he's nice. Well, yes, he does. He can be violent at times. At like when he almost beats he almost beats Larry to the pulp in Secret Santa when Larry accidentally gives Ludwig a book that he loathes. But also, Morton is just kind of kind. Well, yes, he does almost ruin Iggy's body and body mix-up. He at least did fix the machine at least, and got everyone back in their bodies. So yeah, we definitely say Morton definitely deserves the bronze, but we can't give him the top 2 spot. And right outside the top 3 is another Koopaling, Lemmy. Well, yes, Lemmy is probably a lot more nastier than Morton. We still consider him good. Well, yes, he is definitely the most sarcastic of the Koopalings. He still is kind of kind. I mean, he did help Larry not get framed in the other episode, in the pilot episode, and he took down. They tried to he also helped the other Koopalings try to take down Bowser Jr. in the third episode. And well, yes, he did call Larry basically a coward. He doesn't actually mean that. He kind of just tells he rather insults you than actually doing anything. Well, yes, this could get him into the neutral tier. We decided to keep him in the good tier because he still is a kind soul, and also again he does help stand up to Bowser Jr. So we do consider him near the bottom of the good section, but we still consider him good. At the very bottom of the good section is another Koopaling, Icky. Icky's probably the most, prideful of the Koopalings, besides, Bowser Jr., of course. But yeah, Icky is kind of just a nerd who is, always throwing around his intelligence. Again, like Lemmy, he rather insults you than, by saying that you're a dummy. But yeah, we do consider Icky the least good because, again, he's super prideful with his work. He is also the one to call out Larry as a coward, even though Larry did not want to go in the castle dungeon in the second episode. And again, well, yes, in episode 3, he did trap Bowser Jr. in the barrel, which, again, Bowser Jr. definitely deserves to be in that barrel. Again, Iggy throws his weight around with the Koopalings in the training school episode by saying, "Oh, I'm smart and you guys are dumb." Yeah, like that. He's just kind of a brat and a kind of a bully, but we consider him good because, again, he does stand up to the Koopalings. But we do consider him the least good, and that's why he's closing out the good section. And that's it for the good section. I know that was very short, but we are jumping into the next category, which are the characters that are not good, but not evil. They do questionable deeds. Welcome to the neutral zone. Kicking off the neutral zone is King Boo. King Boo is one of Bowser's friends. He's kind of a drunk. He likes to drink a lot of beer. He's always almost always drunk as Bowser as he is. Which again, we're gonna get into Bowser again later in the video. And while yes, we don't see him much, he does accidentally throw coffee in Bowser's face when Bowser gets hospitalized in the third episode. But again, he's kind of nice. He's just kind of neutral. He just kind of is background. Well, yes, he did try to help Bowser search for Bowser Jr. They did get briefly arrested in the Day of the Fair episode. He's just kind of just there. That's why we consider him the first spot in the neutral zone. Right after him is King Dedede. King Dedede is only seen in one episode, being in Into Bowser Jr., where he's another friend of Bowser. He's just again another drunk. He doesn't really do much in the season. Well, yes, we learn him as more of a jerk in the later seasons, and he's the owner of Goomburger. He is just kind of neutral. He's just there again, like King Boo, but we consider him lower because he kind of has a slightly worse attitude than King Boo. Right under them is King K. Rool. King K. Rool is another friend of Bowser. Yep, this is the last of Bowser's friends on the list. We consider him the least good because he does laugh at Wendy in Koopa 2, where when Bowser Jr. posts about how she has acne, and he basically just laughs her out of the store, which is very rude, I would say. But we can't consider him evil because again, he's kind of a nothing character in a way. And he's again kind of drunk. He does drink a lot of beer as well, which we can kind of say is questionable. He definitely does some questionable ideas, but we decided not to put him in the outright evil tier, mostly because he is friendly to other customers in the gas station which he runs. Nearing the end of the neutral zone is Kamek. Kamek is kind of the main antagonist of the pilot episode when he decides to steal Bowser's beer from him. Well, yes, this is again another questionable deed. We kind of do sympathize with him because Bowser just drinks a lot of beer, and Kamek is trying to teach him an important lesson in caring about his kids instead of the beer. Yeah, Bowser's terrible in this season, I would say. Alright. Yeah, again, Kamek is again kind of rude, doesn't care about his kids. Kind of is a jerk in the season, and he's kind of a grouch in most of the season. He's just talking in that ass Bowser kind of voice in a way. Well, yes, he does offer the kids to stop Bowser Jr. from ruining their lives in the season finale. He still is kind of just not. He's not good, but he's not evil. So we decided to keep him in the neutral zone. And the final character in the neutral zone is the second to last Koopaling, Ludwig. Ludwig, you're gonna get worse in the next 2 seasons, but we decided to keep him at the very end of neutral. Again, Ludwig always has been envious of Bowser Jr. for being higher than him, being Bowser's second command. He is the main bully of Larry. Again, he's a jerk and throughout the whole season, always seeing him as the best, basically. And also, he did try to he literally mocks Larry for accidentally giving him the book that he loathes in the Secret Santa episode. And honestly, he did not care about Larry's feelings when he forced Larry to get on a roller coaster that Larry obviously did not like. And also in Body Mix-Up, he basically calls out Larry for being messing up with Larry's body at the book club, telling him that Larry's a screw up. The only reason he's not in the final tier is that he does apologize. He does team up with Larry and trying to stop Bowser Jr. from ruining their lives with his YouTube channel. And at times he is kind of apologetic to Larry as he does team up with him every once in a while. So we decided to keep him at the tail end of the neutral zone. And that's it. That's the end of the neutral zone. But we have now gotten into the last tier. Welcome to the bad to evil tier. And right outside of the podium of evil, yes, this is the shortest tier of our video today, is the final Koopaling, Roy. Roy is the most evil Koopaling in the season, mostly because he's kind of just a scumbag in this season, to be honest. All he cares about is just getting laid, kind of. He's willing to date any girl he sees. And he's just kind of a creep. He's always napping for some reason. He's basically a representation of both lust and sloth, as again he naps randomly. He's the main bully of Larry. He always picks on Larry for almost no reason. Well, yes, he does kind of team up with Larry and Endo Bowser Jr. It's mostly because they were kind of forced to do it. And again, in training school, he almost gets worn out in a very aggressive tone, I have to add. And also in Secret Santa, when Lemmy and Morn try to steal his clock, he actually almost shoots them with his bullets and almost kills them. And he's quite reckless, I have to add. And in at the fair, he again forces Larry to get on the roller coaster that he didn't like. And in Body Mixed Up, this one, it shows Roy as basically a creep. In this episode, when he gets changed into Wendy's body, he decided to be like, oh, I'm gonna be a creep and I'm gonna just be a girl when, Wendy's a girl. He decides to be really suspicious. Like, he decides to go in a spa, spanks a girl in the bottom, and makes Wendy look like a freak and a weirdo. And he doesn't apologize for this at all. He just wanted to he takes Wendy's body as an advantage so that he can look at girls naked. I mean, this is literally the sin of lust, I have to add. The only reason he's not in the bottom three is mostly because, like Ludwig, he does team up with Larry every once in a while. And he's not as bad as the bottom three. Yep, we're at the bottom three, and you might be surprised, but earning the bronze medal of evil is actually going to be Bowser. Bowser takes the bronze is taking home the bronze medal of evil. Bowser is just a horrible parent in the first 3 seasons, and this is not his worst appearance. I'm gonna add. First off, he kind of acts like Braxton from Super Mario Logan, the plush YouTube channel. But unlike Braxton, where he beats up his kids, he favors Bowser Jr. over his own Koopalings for literally almost no reason besides him being his only biological son, which is like no reason to favorize. And I'm gonna go over his action. In the first episode, he basically threatens his kids, saying that if they didn't catch the person who steals the beer, he's gonna have them tortured in a lava pit, which is horrible. And then in Castle Dungeon, the second episode, it almost looked like he was collecting bones from dead Koopas. Like, bro, he's a sicko. In Enter Bowser Jr., he decides to get drunk and drive while being drunk and gets himself hospitalized and makes Bowser Jr. the supervisor of the castle, which was obviously a horrible idea. He then sends his kids to training school just because he wanted them to get stronger. And then in Secret Santa, he decides to be like, oh, I'm gonna be a neglectful parent and just have my kids do the Secret Santa thing and only come in when the Koopalings were beating the stuffings out of each other. In Day at the Fair, he again neglects his kids, saying, oh, I'm just gonna give you $5, have fun. And he also briefly loses Bowser Jr. in the fair. Well, yes, he did try to find him, which is probably the only reason he's not taking the silver medal of evil. He still gets arrested in that episode. And finally in Koopa Tube, he basically defends Bowser Jr.'s terrible actions for almost no reason. He even briefly captures Wendy and Larry and actually chased after his kids. And guess what? In both the season finale and season 3, he decides to beat his kid up for almost no reason. Well, yes, in in the third episode, Bowser Jr. was looking at kind of inappropriate videos. I honestly think he should have taken better actions than beating his kid up. And again, in the season finale, he gets mad at his son because he broke his computer in a rage. Just because he only cared about the computer because it cost him a lot. Bowser is just a horrible parent, and you might be surprised he's not lower. But the only reason he's not as low is that thankfully, he's not as bad as the other two versions we're gonna see in the next 2 seasons. Earning the silver medal of evil is kind of a minor antagonist, but still an antagonist, being Clyde. Clyde is basically an angry Koopa that shows up in 2 episodes: Training School and Day at the Fair. In Training School, he's the Koopaling's teacher, who literally in seconds after Larry and Lemmy insults him, he literally tells him to shut up, and he even threatens of murdering the Koopaling's family if they cheated on the test. And also, he cheated at his own game by attacking Morton, even though he wasn't participating in the paintball game. And finally, at Day at the Fair, well, yes, he is a ride attendant in the episode. He basically doesn't care about his job or the safety of the Koopalings. Well, yes, he's not taking the gold medal of evil. He still is a horrible person and has a terrible attitude to everyone. He's just always angry at everyone. But he's not as bad as the gold medal of evil. You know it, you love him, you're gonna see him a lot at the bottom of the list, but the gold medal of evil is going to Bowser Jr. Bowser Jr. is just a terrible kid. Well, yes, he is technically a kid and should be lower. I argued he's the most evil character in the entire season. By a landslide, I would add. In the first episode, when he appears in Bowser Jr., he basically makes the Koopalings basically his slaves, making them do stuff like drink acid. He even threatens to throw hammers at them if they didn't sing the Total Drama song correctly. And again, in Secret Santa, he deliberately gives Larry the book that Ludwig hates, and basically starts the fight between them. And that day at the fair, he decides to go away from his dad intentionally so that he can buy his stuff at the fair. And he gets mad at his dad because they accidentally left him behind. He's just a terrible thing. He's a spoiled brat, basically. Think you can think of Bowser Jr. as Bowser Jr. of Super Mario Logan, but way worse in my opinion. All Bowser Jr. cares is about basically he basically view his siblings as his toys that he can use as his as basically servants or toys that he would use when he takes over the kingdom. And I can tell you he's gonna be a horrible king. I believe that once Bowser Jr. becomes king, he's gonna be like, I'm gonna just watch the world burn. That's the kind of character Bowser Jr. is. And finally, in Koopa 2, he decides to basically slander the Koopalings by saying, oh, they have terrible problems, and basically try to humiliate the Koopalings on Koopa Tube, which is basically YouTube. And he definitely deserves the Koopalings basically calling him a whiny little, a whiny little baby in that episode. Bowser Jr. is just a terrible kid, a terrible character, and is why we're declaring him the most evil of the season. But before we go, we have to give out the Sinnoh medals. For the last Sinnoh medal, it's obviously going to Roy. I mean, do we have to talk about Body Mixed Up? I mean, he was weird in that episode. Getting the gluttony sentimental is going to be Morton. Morton eats a lot of food, and he's always talking about food. He does not care anything besides food. Next up is the sloth sentimental, which we're deciding is going to Roy. I mean, he's always sleeping. He's constantly he napped during the test in training school, and honestly, he's the representation of sloth in my opinion. The Darwin medal is going to be a special medal, and that medal goes to Morton, which is basically he's not the brightest bulb out of the cast. He's kind of just is like he doesn't even know his alphabets. He's kind of like Jeffy from Super Mario Logan. I know I'm referencing a lot of Super Mario Logan, but yeah, I kind of compare these characters to that channel. The Wrath Sentimental is going to Clyde because he's always in a terrible mood. He does not care about life. He kind of is just cynical throughout most of his thing. The Envy Sentimental is going to Ludwig because he's always jealous of Bowser Jr. being the second in command and how he deserves the second in command. And both the pride and the greed sentimental is both going to Bowser Jr. Bowser Jr. basically sees himself as basically better than the Koopalings. And again, he does not he's quite greedy in the final episode where he wanted to make videos about humiliating his Koopalings just because of views and subscribers. And that's why he's basically the representation of both pride and greed because he's prideful over his Koopalings. He thinks he's the best of of Bowser's kids, and he's just greedy because he wanted views and subscribers on his because just because his first YouTube was just him playing Pac-Man, Google Pac-Man. Just yeah. Next, and that's the video. Type in the comments who you think is the most good or the most evil, and who deserves the Sinnoh medals. Let me know in the comments. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll probably be back with another video as soon as I can. This is the Mega Man Gamer signing out.